Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Nervings, and I'm here to go over my 2025 recaps for both YouTube Music and Spotify. And just like Connor Super Goofy's video, or I guess I could just say Connor at this point because he's my friend. Just like Connor's video, the meat and potatoes of this video is going to be the Spotify rap. But I'm going to quickly go over what's been going on this year for my YouTube Music. So, this right here, Mutt by Leon Thomas is 100, all the way up to number one. And Mutt by Leon Thomas, I listened to this song a lot back in March or April, especially April. I remember when I played the game High on Life, which is actually a really fun game. And I listened to this song a lot around that time, so I associate this song with beating High on Life. And then we got Wholeheartedly by Jid, which is on his album God Does Like Ugly. It's probably my favorite song on that album, even though it's only at number 99. I believe it might be on Spotify Wrapped. I looked at the Spotify Wrapped before this and I can't remember if I saw it or not, but it might not be actually. But yeah, Wholeheartedly by Jid. I think I listened to it more on Spotify than YouTube Music. But even the song I listened to the most on YouTube Music probably would be within the top 40 maybe of my Spotify Wrapped because I listen to Spotify a lot more than YouTube Music this year. But number 98, we got It's Okay, I'm Okay by Tate McRae. Yeah. I don't really have a backstory for that song. I just like it. I like the music video. Surrender by Karaoke. Now, I discovered the song on Geometry Dash when I used to play that game back in 2021, early 2022, my freshman year of high school. And you can't actually find the song anywhere but YouTube now because the artist deleted the profile on every other app or every other sort of platform. And even Newgrounds, which is how songs get into Geometry Dash. So the only way you can find the song now is through YouTube because the artist deleted the profile everywhere else. Half the Plot by Lil Tecca off of Dopamine should 100% be higher than this. It wasn't even that long ago. It was like a month ago where I listened to this song a lot. I was addicted to the first 15 seconds. Yeah, this should be higher. And then Whiskey Glasses by Morgan Wallen. I listened to this song a lot back in April and May, when I had AP Macroeconomics. And a lot of times in that class, our teacher would play country music in the background, and this is one of the songs that she would have in heavy rotation. So I associate this song with AP Macroeconomics in senior year of high school. But then we got Nice to Meet You by Miles Smith, which I listened to a lot late August, early September this year. Yeah, World in My Eyes, Depeche Mode. Again, the song's bigger on Spotify, but it was big. No More Old Men, and then with World in My Eyes, I listened to it the most in October. No More Old Men by Chance the Rapper. It's actually on my Spotify right now. No More Old Men. It's on my list. And it's on its second run, I believe. I believe it's at number 20. But either way, No More Old Men is a pretty good song from Chance the Rapper Starline. Holy by Justin Bieber. That was definitely earlier in the year. Heartless Kanye West. Yeah. This was definitely summer. This is recent. The less I know, the better. Luther. That's definitely older. And then this is, I we're not going to count these because I frequently watch videos of artists' chart histories on the Billboard Hot 100 because why not? But I'm not going to count those. It doesn't really matter. And then we got Runaway Kanye West. Bigger on Spotify. It actually reached number one in January on my list. So it was definitely bigger on Spotify, but I did listen to Runaway a good bit on YouTube Music as well. Otherwise, it wouldn't be on this list. Stargazing by Miles Smith. Yeah, this was definitely earlier in the year. Same with I Am Not Okay, Jelly Roll. Flashing Lights, Kanye West. I listened to this a lot in May around graduation time, so I do associate this song with graduation. And it's from an album called Graduation, so that just makes it so much more fitting. Sail, this song came along in April. It's really when I liked it. Hold My Liquor. So I got quite the memory with this song. In June, there was a program at my high school, my senior year of high school, to go to Scotland and Ireland. And on the flight from North Carolina to Ireland, we laid on the plane for about 7 hours straight. The pilot was literally about to take off, and then he saw a bunch of clouds, so then he just started circling around where the planes go. And so we were stuck on that plane for 7 hours before we eventually took off because of bad weather. And in between, when I got the internet, I listened to this song. So this song just reminds me of when I was stuck on a plane for 7 hours. Thankfully, though, we had air conditioning, and pretty much everybody on that plane was at least a teenager. So there wasn't a whole lot of crying. But yeah, this song reminds me of that. Good News by Shabuzi. Yeah, this was early in the year. That too. That too. Giving Up on Me was big. Yeah, so was that. End of the Beginning. This was also big on Spotify. Not every single song that is on this list was also big on Spotify. Some of them were just big on YouTube and that's it. Like this one, Amen was big on Spotify, reached #1. I listened to it a lot in May. Life is Good. That's recent. I started to like the song after a couple weeks because I saw an Instagram post with the song in the background. So that's how I discovered it, and I like it. Opening Night, which is weird that it's on this list because it's an interlude. Stranger was big on Spotify too. New Slaves as well. A lot of Kanye West songs remind me of my trip to Europe in June. Because I left June 16th to Ireland and Scotland, and I came back June 25th. And June 16th was the day that we were stuck on the plane for 7 hours. Because it wasn't just me, it was a bunch of other kids in my school. As She Knows, that was earlier in the year. I Got Better was big a couple years ago. All Mine, yeah. Superhero, this is like a nerdcore song. It's like, that's about it. It's about Marvel Rivals, which I haven't played in literally a year since it came out. Money Trees by Kendrick Lamar. Now, this is big on Spotify. That's for damn sure. Father Stretch My Hands. This never made a run on Spotify, but it's a good song. Gorgeous as well. I Had Some Help. Yeah. Bloody Mary was big. Starman was huge on Spotify. It's actually in the top 10 of my Spotify rap this year, too. I discovered it because I had astronomy class in senior year of high school, and in December we watched a movie called The Martian. And at one section of the movie, this song played in the background. So that's how I discovered this song, and I really like it. The Problem was second half of senior year. Again, chat music. We got Shabuzi's The Drink Don't Need No Mix. Yeah, I listened to quite a bit of Shabuzi. And then What It Is, Dochi. This was like 2023. I just randomly thought of this song at one point. Yeah. Off the Grid. This was pretty good. Monster by Justin Bieber and Shawn Mendes. Not bad. This was, I don't know, August or September of this year. Back to Friends by Somber, which is also big on Spotify. Smile by Morgan Wallen. Yeah. Fun fact, I recorded singing Smile by Morgan Wallen into BandLab, but of course I deleted it and I wasn't going to release it anyway. But I just felt like singing it into BandLab one day and I did. Streets by Doja Cat, yeah. Fuck That by Skrillex. There's a lot of Skrillex songs on the YouTube music recap this year and on Spotify Wrapped. Because my friend introduced me to him last year and I got into him. I got into his music. But yeah, this song was big, famous as well. Stayed on the Spotify chart, or stayed on my Spotify list a long time. I think Famous by Kanye West ended up being on my list for over 2 months consecutively. It was at least 60 days. Famous by Kanye West was on my list. She Knows was also big. What I Want was fairly big, 500 pounds. That was definitely back in January, February this year. Chat music, that's a whole nother story. Nokia by Drake, Baptized in Fear, Love Me Not, Raven Lene, which was big on Spotify as well, and so was Baptized in Fear, but it actually didn't peak inside the top 15, it barely peaked outside of it. Baptized in Fear by The Weeknd wasn't one of the songs that I listened to a lot over a certain period of time on Hurry Up Tomorrow, but it peaked at number 16. Thought You Should Know by Morgan Wallen. One Man Can Change the World, which is huge on my Spotify Wrapped. Sweaters by Ivan B, Ordinary, Alex Warren, Timeless, The Weeknd, Playboi Carti, Last of My Kind by Shabuzi, which is big on Spotify. And when I say big on Spotify, I mean it's big on my Spotify Wrapped this year because I listened to it a lot this year. Midnight City by M83, also huge. Astronaut in the Ocean was not. I really just felt like listening to this a few days out of the year, and that was about it. Drapetomania. This is also big on Spotify. I listened to this a lot in September. And by the way, the song name has nothing to do with the subject of the song. It's just a fun trap song. Blue Strips, Jumpman by Drake, another chat music video. You can find out what that is for yourself. Another chart history. Mercy by Kanye West. All is Fair in Love and Bro Step, another Skrillex song, another Kanye West song, Love Lockdown. Escapism was also big on Spotify. Just a little bit bigger on Spotify than it was on YouTube Music this year. Red Care, chat music again. I actually sent this song to Connor, and I want to know what he thinks of it, but I don't think he's giving it a chance. I want to know what he thinks of it though. Field Trip by Kanye, Ty Dolla Sign, Kodak Black, Don Tolliver, a lot of people. You Broke Me First, Sao Paulo by The Weeknd, Loyalty by Rihanna and Kendrick Lamar. This was a guilty pleasure around prom time because I felt kind of guilty about not having anyone to go to prom with. And I remember sitting in my car listening to this song the day before prom. That's So True by Gracie Abrams, Ragabomb by Skrillex, Reflections Laughing, Breaking Me, You by Regard, Troye Sivan, and Tate McRae. What Rhymes with Required, which is a meme song you already know. Learn to Love, which is, it's no surprise at all. It's this high, 6 foot, 7 foot. That's not a surprise either. Amazing Kanye West, Devil in a New Dress, which is also even higher on the Spotify Wrapped than it is on this YouTube Music Recap. The Motto, Need a Favor #3, No Problem #2, and Look at Me Now by Chris Brown, Busta Rhymes, and Lil Wayne at #1 for my YouTube Music Recap this year. I listened to this song a lot when I was doing workouts, and I don't really anymore, but this was a fun song. And I think I've spent a little bit too much time on this, but let's get into the Spotify Wrapped. All right, so now onto the Spotify Wrapped, which, like I said earlier, is the meat and potatoes of this video. And I'm going to go from the bottom, which is placement #100, to the top, just like I did with the YouTube Music Recap. #100 is Niagara Falls by The Weeknd. I listened to this a lot in the summer, and I actually have a vivid memory of walking around Elm Grove Elementary School. If anyone watching this knows where that is. But I remember walking around it at night, listening to this song. It's a pretty vivid memory. Paper Doll by Luck Ash. I used to listen to Luck Ash, which is like, there's a lot of 80s synths involved in Luck Ash's music. And I just thought of Paper Doll this year, and it was fairly big on my chart. 98, we got Clarity by Zed and Foxes, which is only about a month ago. Deja Vu by J. Cole. This was basically my anthem, and its placement wouldn't suggest that that it was my anthem for when I started community college because it's only #97. But this song was basically my anthem for starting community college and not knowing anybody and being sort of anxious. #96 is the first of many Theodore Dog Weeby songs on this chart. Not on this chart, but this is the first song of many Theodore Dog Weeby songs on this Spotify Wrapped this year, because Theodore Dog Weeby as a whole was my most listened to album this year, period. I Lost All My Motivation, #96, which isn't even that good, but I listened to it a lot. Dark Thoughts by Lil Tecca. Yeah, this was fairly big. This also kind of reminds me of When I Beat High on Life in April. I associate it with that. Pumpkin Mold, again, it's not that good, but I listened to it quite a bit. Endless Ocean, Pretender, which was bigger last year, and I'm honestly kind of surprised that it's on the list this year, but it makes sense. Pretender was bigger last year on my list for sure. Mercy by Kanye West, which is recent. 500 Pounds by Lil Tecca. Hell of a Life by Kanye West. Now I listened to this song. I downloaded this song on YouTube before I took the flight home from Europe in June. And then when I flew from London in the United Kingdom all the way back to Austin, Texas, which took about 10 hours in total, I had the song downloaded and I remember listening to it. 40,000 feet above the ground, so that's cool. Rivers in the Desert by Lynn. This is some Persona 5 song, which I never actually played, but I remember hearing it. somewhere. Yikes by Kanye West. I associate a lot of Kanye West songs. I think I've said this earlier, but I associate a lot of Kanye West songs with my trip to Europe, specifically Ireland and Scotland in June. I associate a lot of Kanye West songs with my trip to Europe in June. Lies, 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 Morgan Wallen. Yeah, that was decently big. The Less I Know, the Better by Tame Impala. This only really got big towards the start of November, so for how late in the year this got big, this is fairly high on the list because I didn't really expect it to be on the list at all. And it's number one on my Spotify list right now. Matter of fact, sitting by the window at 6 a.m., a thank you letter. Yeah, I mean, it's just another Theodore Dog Weeby song. It's the closer, and it's a really good closer at that. And I get when Connor said that this should have been his final song and that he shouldn't have kept going to Skate and Wonder and Life After Graduation and whatnot. But he's making music again now, so I don't really think he feels that way anymore. And then we got Yui and No by Rocco, Now or Never by T-Cans, which is a BandLab song. And both this song and Yui and No got big in October and November on my chart. Yeah, Pretty by Chance the Rapper. This album that it's on came out in August, and honestly, I think the vocal sample sounds amazing. But that's the best part about it because the lyrics are kind of corny. And then Flashing Lights as well is on this list. Sail is also on this list. Phoebe Weeby, The Same Things. Cupcake. Escapism is number 75, which was big in February. Take What You Want by Post Malone was big in September. Thomas. Peekaboo, which was big in February and March this year. It's the only real Kendrick Lamar song from the album GNX that really, really hit my chart this year. Peekaboo peaked at number three, so it's the only song from GNX that actually charted really high this year. But there are other songs that charted on my list. Peekaboo's just the only one that charted high. Ain't That Some by Morgan Wallen. Yeah, that was March, April. I'd say February, March, and April was definitely in my country area of this year. That's when I listened to a lot of country. Bufu by Helvetican is an EDM song. I remember hearing it on Geometry Dash, and I think it goes hard. Number 69 is Streets Doja Cat. 68, Keep Their Heads Ringing by Dr. Dre. I honestly forgot I listened to the song at all this year, but I listened to it a lot back in March. And I discovered the song from an Instagram reel. So that's that. I Couldn't Let You Go by Stray. I started listening to the song in October, and this is the only Stray song up here. This is the only Stray song on the Spotify Wrapped. The Builder and the Breaker. Again, it's not that good, but it's Theodore Dog Weeby, which is infesting. Theodore Dog Weeby has infested the Spotify Wrapped this year, thanks to when I listened to it so much in March and April. I had some help, Morgan Wallen and Post Malone. La Llorona by Stempianis, which I also discovered from Geometry Dash, and I listened to it a lot. I listened to this song a lot in October because it fits the Halloween theme. All Nighter by Tiesto, Gorgeous by Kanye West, which, again, it's a Kanye West song, and I do in fact associate this song with rolling through the hills in Ireland, Northern Ireland, just being fascinated by how gorgeous it is and how green it was there. And I also associate this song with Plane Ride Home. Famous by Kanye West is number 61. I would have expected it to be a little bit higher. You by Regard, Troye Sivan, and Tate McRae. This was popular early in the year, and I'm talking January. Friday Night Goofiness, Gold Digger, number 58. Holding On by Skrillex. It was initially by Icy Monsters, but it's a Skrillex remix. And the drop on this song is sick. The Devil's Den, I also associate this song with being in the airport the day, it wasn't the day before, but I was in the London, UK airport, and for that matter, the Edinburgh airport, because we had one plane ride from Edinburgh, UK to London, UK, and then we went from London all the way back to Austin. And I listened to the song at both of those airports. But I listened to the song just before the plane ride back. 55 is Thought You Should Know by Morgan Wallen. Yeah, again, I listened to this a lot in my country phase this year. Number 54 is First of the Month, which initially didn't go too far on my list, but I saw that one of my friends used it on his Instagram note, and so I checked the song out, and it had enough staying power in my mind for me to listen to it enough. And I believe it peaked at number 4 on my list either in late October or early November this year. So initially it wasn't big, but then I came back around to it. It only had one chart. It actually had one run on the chart, but it was about to fall off the chart, and then I came back to it, and then it jumped up to the top 10. But yeah, that's that. Good Days by Ronald Duff. Yeah. I discovered the song again on Instagram, just like I discovered First of the Month from one of my friend's Instagram notes. Burned from Theodore Dog Weeby. Mansions. It's Mansions. Come on. This was definitely higher on my 2024 Spotify rap, though. 50 is Moon. Number 49 is Courtesy of the Red, White, and Blue, The Angry American by Toby Keith, which was one of my two July 4th anthems. Number 48 on The Problem, Morgan Wallen. Number 47, Stranger, which actually might be on at the exact same position as it is in my YouTube music recap, number 47, but it peaked at number 4 on my list. Say What You Want is number 46. Homicide by Ani Brava. Now, there's a funny story behind this song. And that's because I still watch these videos from the channel Chad Music, and that's why you saw a few meme songs from Chad Music on my YouTube music recap this year. Because Chad Music basically takes the most absurd comments from separate videos and compiles them into a song. And that channel did that with Ani Brava's challenges, where she challenges her viewers to rhyme with a certain word, maybe 15, 20 total times. And they made 15, 20 different videos out of it, maybe even more. So then I checked out her discography and I liked this song. Number 44 is Clocks by Coldplay. Yeah, that was big in September. Sao Paulo, number 43. That's currently number 3 on my chart, and it's on its third chart run. Number 42 is Trolls. Number 41 is Breaking Me. Yeah, Breaking Me was big in February. I was addicted to the la 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 la. It's a really addictive song. Breaking Me is a really addictive song. All is Fair in Love and Bro Step, number 40. I listen to this a lot more on YouTube Music, or not a lot more, maybe just a little bit more. But I also listened to it way more at the end of last year when my friend first introduced me to Skrillex. I listened to this song a lot in November and December, especially December. Especially December of last year, I listened to All Is Fair in Love and Bro Step a lot. Number 39 is Love Me Not by Raven Lene. It was big in September, and initially I wasn't too keen on the song, but it grew on me, and now I like it a lot. And it's on my playlist. Soul Survivor was big in October. It was sort of my Halloween anthem, even though it doesn't have a Halloween theme at all. Or at least it wasn't intended to have a Halloween theme, but Soul Survivor by Jeezy and Akon was big on my chart in October. Drink Don't Need No Mix by Shabuzi. The Business by Tiesto was big in January. Sucker Free, I pretty much liked from the beginning. Ever since Tyler the Creator dropped Don't Tap the Glass in July of this year, I've always liked Sucker Free, and it hit number 1 in August, I believe. Du Hast by Rammstein. Again, the same friend that introduced me to Skrillex introduced me to this song, and I liked it. Runaway by Kanye West, number 33. Last of My Kind by Shabuzi, number 32. This was number 1 in February, much like Runaway was number 1 in January. Runaway was number 1 in January, Last of My Kind number 1 in February, and I believe Du Hast was also number 1 in March. World of My Eyes, again, like I said, World of My Eyes is much bigger on my Spotify rap than it is on my YouTube music recap. It's at number 31. No Problem by Chance the Rapper, I listened to a lot. And even though I didn't listen to a single song when we went to our senior trip to Six Flags, because I didn't bring my headphones, which is something that I heavily regret, this song still kind of reminds me of our senior trip to Six Flags anyway. Amazing by Kanye West and Jeezy. Not only do I associate this song with my trip to Europe in June, but I associate the song with a very particular and vivid memory of being in Europe. So much like a lot of other Kanye West songs, I associate this song with my trip to Europe in June, but I associate this one with a very specific memory. Mr. Brightside by The Killers was big in September. Bloody Mary by Lady Gaga was big in January, February. Without You by Usher and David Guetta was also big in January. All My Fault was huge. Poisonous Potato took a little bit to grow on me, but it hit number 1, I believe, in May. And I believe it stuck on the chart for the longest of all the Theodore Weeby songs. End of Beginning by DJO. And this song was big in August when I rediscovered it. Back to Friends by Somber, number 22, was also big in August. Midnight City, again, 3 straight songs in a row that were big in August. Back to Friends peaked at number 2. End of Beginning actually peaked at number 1 and blocked Back to Friends. And then after End of Beginning slipped from number 1, Midnight City became number 1 exactly after. So End of Beginning was number 1, then Midnight City became number 1 right after it. So Midnight City's number 21. Amen by Shabuzi and Jelly Roll's number 20. Like I said earlier, I listened to the song a lot in May. Number 19 is Antisocial. Number 18 is She Knows by J. Cole, which honestly couldn't leave the chart for a while. Number 17 is Till I Collapse by Eminem and Nate Dogg. And I was initially aware of this song, but it didn't become big on my chart until early mid-March of this year because, yes, the exact same friend that introduced me to Skrillex and Du Hast by Rammstein, however you say that band name. That's the only song I know by them. But he introduced me to this song because he thought this song was a good workout song. And so I started using Till I Collapse by Eminem and Nate Dogg for workouts. And I thought it was really good. Some might think it's corny for workouts, but I thought it was a good workout song. And it's actually, after I started using it for a workout song, I started listening to it casually too. And it hit number 1 in March. Hey Landon by Connor was Super Goofy was number 16. I forgot how much I liked the song back in February when the second wave of Theodore Dog Weeby came out. Number 15, Reflections Laughing, which was big in July, August this year. And number 14, Ride In by Skrillex. Number 13, Drapetomania, Chance the Rapper, Baby Chief Do It. Number 12, Dreams and Nightmares by Meek Mill, which is pretty much the ultimate workout song. And then we got, of course, to no one's surprise, definitely not to Connor's surprise nor mine, Hooligans is up here. Although I actually looked on my phone, and even though it's number 11 here officially, I listened to it the exact same amount of times I listened to Ain't It Fun by Paramore. So this song and Ain't It Fun are basically tied for number 10. I listened to Ain't It Fun a lot in May, just before we graduated from high school and just after Decision Day. Number 9, Ragabomb by Skrillex. I also listened to this song for workouts. Starman by David Bowie, number 8. Number 7, Money Trees by Kendrick Lamar and J-Rock. And for that matter, Ain't It Fun peaked at number 1, Ragabomb number 1, Starman number 1, Money Trees number 1. Although Money Trees stayed on the chart for so long and it took so long to get to number 1. Bangarang by Skrillex and Syra hit number 1 in May. And Safe and Sound by Capital Cities is the highest song that never hit number 1. Safe and Sound only peaked at number 3 in June of this year. And that's because the 2 songs that were above it are above it on Spotify Wrapped. So Safe and Sound is the highest peaking song, or Safe and Sound is the highest song on my Spotify Wrapped this year that never peaked at number 1. But Jesus Walks was in fact above it at number 1. Jesus Walks is number 4. Devil in a New Dress, which I would argue is the biggest song for me this entire year. Even though Devil in a New Dress, I don't think, well, Devil in a New Dress was high on the YouTube music recap this year and the Spotify Wrapped, as you can see, being at number 3. And it peaked at number 1 in May. But I would argue that this was the biggest song for me this year, even though I didn't technically listen to it as much as a couple of others. Because this song was basically my graduation anthem. Number 2, One Man Can Change the World by Big Sean, Kanye West, and John Legend. I associate this song with going to Europe, but also the whole summer in general. And then number 1, Fortunate Song by Creedence Clearwater Revival, which I listened to a total of 59 times, all on July 4th, because it was my July 4th anthem. But of the top 25, there weren't too many songs that didn't peak at number 1. But yeah, this is my top 10. And Safe and Sound is the only song within the top 10 that didn't peak at number 1. And this song, Hooligans, which peaked at number 3. Ride In, which peaked at number 3 as well. Back to Friends, which peaked at number 2. Yeah, that's it. There's only 4 songs within the whole top 25 of my Spotify Wrapped that didn't peak at number 1 on my list. Because Back to Friends was number 2. Ride In was number 3. Hooligans was number 3. And Safe and Sound was number 3. So that's my Spotify Wrapped. That's about it. See ya.